Welcome back to the Wisdom English podcast. Today, we are going to do something a little different. We are going on a journey to help you discover your true English level. You don't need a test, you don't need a teacher. You just need your ears and a little bit of focus. In this episode, you will listen to 6 short stories, one for each level of English fluency, from A1 to C2. If one story feels easy and the next one feels a little difficult, that's perfect. That's how you find your level. And make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I'll reveal the simple secret that separates fluent speakers from lifelong learners, no matter what their level is. Are you ready? Let's begin. Level A1, the beginner. At this level, English is simple and clear. The sentences are short. The words are common and easy. If you can understand this easily, you are at least A1. Let's listen. My name is Anna. I live with my parents. We have a small dog. His name is Max. I like my dog very much. We live in a small house. The house has 3 rooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a bedroom. Our house is clean and quiet. Every morning I wake up at 7. I eat breakfast in the kitchen. I drink tea. Then I go to work. I work in a small shop. It is near my home. I walk to work. I sell food and drinks. I help customers. I take money and give change. My boss is kind. At 5, I finish work. I go home. I am tired but happy. I cook dinner for my parents. We eat together. In the evening, I watch TV or read a small book. At 10, I go to bed. All right, if you understood this story easily, congratulations. Your English is at least A1. You can understand short sentences and familiar topics. Level A2, the elementary speaker. Now let's move on to A2, the elementary level. Here, English becomes a little richer. The sentences are longer, and you will hear more details about routines and daily activities. If you can understand this story without much effort, you are at least A2. My name is Mark. I live in a small apartment near the city. It is not big, but it's comfortable for me. From my window, I can see a park. In the morning, I often hear birds singing. I work in an office not far from home. I usually walk to work because it only takes 10 minutes. When the weather is bad, I take the bus. I start work at 8:30 and finish at 5. I answer phone calls, send emails, and help my manager. My colleagues are friendly. We often talk during our lunch break. After work, I don't go home right away. I usually go to the gym for 1 hour. Exercise helps me relax after a long day. On weekends, my routine is different. I meet my friends in the city center. We go for coffee, walk around, and sometimes watch a movie. Okay, well done. If this story felt easy to follow, your English is a 2 or higher. You can understand connected sentences about real life, work, and free time. Level B1, the intermediate speaker. Now, get ready for B1, the intermediate level. This is where most of you are, and it's a fantastic place to be. If you can follow this whole story and understand the main message, you're at a solid B1 level. The language is more detailed, and we start to talk about feelings and motivations. My name is Liam, and I work as a computer technician. I fix laptops, install new programs, and help people when their devices don't work. I've done this job for almost 6 years, and I still enjoy it. I like my job because it's a mix of logic and creativity. Every problem is different, and finding the right solution feels like solving a puzzle. When I arrive at work, I make a cup of coffee and check the list of repairs for the day. Sometimes the problems are small, like a slow system. But sometimes they're bigger, and I have to spend hours testing every part of a computer. It can be frustrating, but when I finally fix something, I feel proud and satisfied. My colleagues are friendly. We often help each other when someone has a difficult case. I think teamwork is one of the most important parts of any job. You can learn a lot from people who think differently from you. After work, I like to clear my head. I don't go home right away. Instead, I walk to the park near my office. I listen to music or just enjoy the quiet. In the evenings, I study online. I'm taking a course about new computer systems because I want to open my own business in the future. It's a lot of work, but I believe it's worth it. Level B2, the upper, intermediate speaker. All right. If that story made sense and felt natural to you, congratulations. Your English is at least B1. Now, let's move forward to B2, upper intermediate. At this stage, you can understand longer stories and more detailed ideas. The speaker sounds more fluent and confident. You will hear natural expressions, comparisons, and reflections about life. My name is Nina, and I'm a freelance graphic designer. For several years, I worked in a big company. The job was safe, the people were kind, and the salary was good. But after a while, I began to feel bored and stuck. Every day looked exactly the same. I started to realize that even though everything looked fine from the outside, something important was missing. I wasn't growing. I wanted more freedom and more creativity. So, 2 years ago, I made one of the biggest decisions of my life. I left my job to work for myself. I remember my last day very clearly. Inside, I was both excited and terrified. I had no plan, no clients, and no idea how to start. But I knew that if I didn't try, I would always wonder, what if? At first, life as a freelancer was really hard. I sent messages to small businesses and emailed old contacts. Some days, nobody replied. It was difficult to stay motivated. But deep down, I knew I had to give it time. I started learning again. I watched free courses online and read articles about marketing. I realized that being a freelancer isn't only about talent, it's also about communication and organization. Little by little, things started to change. My designs got better, my confidence grew, and new clients started to contact me. The best part is the freedom. I can choose which projects I want to do. If I want to work from a cafe, I can. This flexibility is something I really value. Of course, it's not always easy. Working alone can be lonely. I miss having colleagues to laugh with, and the money isn't always stable. 1 month can be amazing, and the next can be very quiet. But I've learned to plan ahead and save for the slower months. Freelancing has taught me to be responsible and to trust myself. I may not earn as much as before, but I wake up every morning feeling proud of what I do. I've created a life that feels like mine. Level C1, the advanced speaker. If you understood that story easily, great job. Your English is upper intermediate or higher. Now you're ready for more advanced English, which includes deeper thinking and reflection. Let's move to C1, the advanced level. Here, English becomes truly natural and expressive. You will hear more abstract ideas and longer, more complex sentences. My name is David, and I work as a project manager. I've been in this field for nearly 10 years, and during that time, I've realized something interesting. Managing people is often more complex than managing projects. Projects have timelines, budgets, and measurable results. People, on the other hand, have emotions, ideas, and completely different ways of seeing the same situation. Balancing both is what makes my job so fascinating and, at times, so challenging. My role isn't to do the technical work myself. It's to make sure everyone has what they need to do their best. I connect people, remove obstacles, and keep everyone aligned. In a way, my job is like being a bridge. When someone on the team feels lost or stressed, my instinct is to listen first, not to give orders. It took me years to learn that leadership doesn't mean having all the answers. It means creating an environment where people feel safe to ask questions. Most problems at work don't come from a lack of skill. They come from a lack of understanding or poor communication. If you can help people feel heard, they usually find their own solutions. I've also learned that good leadership is not about control, it's about trust. When your team trusts you, they'll tell you the truth. They'll admit mistakes and share feedback. But trust doesn't appear overnight. It's something you build slowly through consistency, fairness, and respect. You have to earn it. Of course, things don't always go perfectly. Sometimes deadlines move or clients change their minds. In those moments, my job is to keep everyone calm and focused. If I panic, the team will panic too. So, I try to stay grounded and remind everyone that mistakes are part of the process, not signs of failure. We talk about what happened, fix it together, and move on. Blaming people doesn't help. Learning does. I often think about how much my job has taught me about life in general. In work and in life, everything comes down to communication. When we speak clearly and listen carefully, problems become smaller. I've learned that resilience, the ability to recover after things go wrong, is like a muscle. It grows each time you use it. When something doesn't work, we don't see it as wasted time. We see it as training for the next challenge. Level C2, the expert speaker. Perfect. If that story felt natural and clear, your English is at least C1. Next, you will reach C2, the expert level. Here, language sounds effortless, elegant, and almost poetic. You will hear subtle ideas and complex reflections. My name is Elena. Over the years, I've realized that the hardest part of life isn't making decisions, it's understanding what they mean. When we're young, we imagine that every choice is a doorway to something better, a better job, a better city. We walk through those doors one after another, rarely stopping to notice what we leave behind. For a long time, I chased progress without direction. I changed jobs, changed cities, always telling myself I was moving forward. But sometimes I was just running away from stillness. There's a strange fear in stillness, as if silence might reveal what we've tried to hide from ourselves. It took me years to understand that silence isn't empty. It's full of resonance. It's where quiet truths finally emerge. These days, I live differently. My mornings are slow. I make coffee, open the window, and let the light spill across the floor. That small moment, gentle and ephemeral, feels like the most honest part of my day. I don't rush to check messages. I just sit and listen to the hum of the world. I used to think meaning came from action. Now, I know it grows out of reflection. I used to think growth meant collecting things, achievements, recognition, experiences. Now I see it differently. Growth, to me, is subtraction, the art of letting go. It's choosing what to release so that what truly matters has room to remain. We live in a world that worships addition. More goals, more motion, more noise. But true wisdom lies in knowing when to stop, when to rest, and when to say, "This is enough." The older I get, the more I see that peace isn't something waiting at the end of the road. It's something that walks beside us, in the rhythm of our own footsteps, in the warmth of the early sunlight, in the silent certainty that life is happening right now, and that right now is already enough. The final secret. All right, if you understood that final story, your English is truly at a near-native level. You've listened, reflected, and tested your understanding through 6 different levels of English. Maybe you found one level easy and the next a little challenging. That's completely normal. Language learning isn't a straight line. It's a process of growth. And now, for the secret I promised at the beginning. The simple secret that ties all of this together is this. Fluency is not a destination. It's a way of traveling. You don't just arrive at C2 and stop. Fluency is the daily habit of engaging with the language. The student who understood the A2 story but was curious about the B1 story is on the path to fluency. The B2 speaker who listened to the C2 story and learned one new word, like ephemeral or resonance, is also on the path to fluency. So, my challenge to you is this. In the comments below, tell me, which story was the sweet spot for you? Which one felt comfortable, and which one felt like your next challenge? Please like, share, and subscribe to the Wisdom English podcast channel to watch our next videos.